Greetings and salutations, Optimists. Today is Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. So I said it like that because my voice actually was like, I started getting a frog in my throat. And I was just like, you know what, just run with it. We can do it without clearing our throat midway through and just see what comes out. And in order to overcome that frog, I just needed to sing. Oh, I hope you like this super out of tune. All right. So I'm taking two trades today, both 3 and 3, and one was long, one was short. I'm trying to get a little bit better, and build my short muscles. That sounds weird, but build my muscles and going short. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Market's very volatile today because of the CPI data and a bunch of other data. So let's go ahead and check out, see what we got on today's economic calendar. We've got the 30-year mortgage dropped at 4 a.m. We've got all the stuff about the mortgages. So the mortgage rate went from 7.21 to 7.27. So another increase on mortgage rates. 7.27, just crazy. When I was a kid, my parents bought their house at 9% interest. But the housing market was not what it is today, where it's both incredibly high interest and incredibly high prices. I just don't think that's sustainable, but also we have inventory issues. So that's really going to keep a lot of those house prices up. Tasty. We've got mortgage applications are down almost 1%. Drop of 0.8. Prior, we had a drop of almost 3%. We got the market index going down to 182. I actually don't know what the market index is, so let's find out. The MBA Weekly Mortgage Applications Survey is a comprehensive overview of the nationwide mortgage market and covers all types of mortgage originators. It's pretty challenging, by the way, to read this stuff through the visual impairment, because a lot of the letters and stuff like that kind of swirl around, and so I'm kind of like putting things into place as we go, including commercial banks, thrift institutions, and mortgage banking companies. The entire market is represented by the market index, which covers all mortgage applications during the week. This includes all conventional and government applications, all fixed rate mortgages, adjustable rate mortgages, whether for a purchase or to refinance. So the mortgage market rate index encompasses all of the mortgages for a week. That's pretty cool. And then there's the refi index, and then the purchase index, which seems kind of self-explanatory after reading the market index. Core inflation month over month, we went up to 0.3%. Now, core inflation, it doesn't explain, but when I look at like CPI data, it looks at a consumer basket for basket of goods and services. But some of these, like one of them excludes food. Inflation year over year went up about another half percent of inflation growth over the year, and 0.6% month over month. So not doing too well on the inflation front, guys. And then at 7:30, we've got crude oil. We've got all these oil reports coming in about 10 minutes. That's going to create a lot more market volatility. So let's be very careful and very cautious, and follow our trading strategies. Let's not overtrade, and let's make sure that we're not trading with too much size if necessary, etc. So let's see. This is ETF. So ETF, I took a long up here, pretty much at the top. I was going to take this one, but I was in the middle of doing something else. I was actually sending a support ticket to Elite Trader Funding because there's a weird issue going on with the reporting. You can see I took one trade here with 3 contracts, but it counted as 6 contracts on the gross, which is doubling up my fees. This started yesterday, And so yesterday I took 27 contracts over 11 trades, and it counted it as 62 contracts over 11 trades, which substantially increases the fees quite a lot, like hundreds of dollars. So I sent him a support ticket about that because it's definitely weird. We did just get a downward cross on the 1 minute side, but we're also getting some rebound as well off 4503, finding a little bit of support down there on this red to yellow. I still wouldn't trust it necessarily at this point because it's running into that 9 EMA less than 10 minutes. Like I said, we've got those oil reports that are coming out. I'd be looking for this crossover on the 10-second chart because I think that's really going to give me sort of the indication that I'm looking for. What up, Tiny? Good to see you. Hopefully you heard some of the stuff that I mentioned about CPI data and all the other jazz. Nice bounce off 4503, 4504 area. About a 4-point bounce. Pretty high. 1 minute chart going to 6.69 on TTM. I still don't trust this long. And we got those oil reports dropping in about 10 minutes. So that could create some more massive volatility. I imagine on the oil front, there's definitely going to be a lot of volatility. Trailing max on ETF is at 777. I took a pretty bad hit yesterday trying to go long. Like I said yesterday, that likely was a combination of greed, but I also had a ton of positive indicators for a long, and it just very much went against my strategy, but I did not do a good job in terms of risk management of actually cutting it back when it got back to break even. And I think I was actually slightly in profit for like a second. So I didn't do a good job of that. I was trying to go for the full move, and greed got me yesterday. And I need to put my energy back in sort of that patient place that I was at on Monday and last couple days last week. Because this particular evaluation has been a lot of treading water. So I don't plan to keep it that way. We're going to get out of it. Just keep growing a little bit at a time. Massive move right there. I'm going to check this on the 4.5. Yeah, this is actually looking pretty good. I get a little pullback here. No pullback. Wow.
Order filled.
I got filled like pretty high. I'm gonna try and get out 45.10 on the button. Or sorry, 45.11. Got in at 9.75. I don't love that. We hit 10.75 there. I think we'll push up to about 12. 12.25 or 12.35 or so is the 1 minute side of this.
Order filled.
Long on Apex side. I tried to grab that pullback, but I got in at 10.25. It's a little high. That 9 is moving up pretty nicely.
Order filled.
Got the 5 tick on ETF side and the 5 tick on Apex side. So we're good there. We're up 282 on Apex side after both a short and a long. Up 266 on the exact same amount of ticks. So you can see the difference in the fees right now. I paid an additional $22 in fees for what's that difference? 282 minus 266. I think it's like less than 20. Obviously, it's less than 22 minus 266. You can see I paid an additional $16 in fees on that. Bounce from 11 all the way up till 25. It's looking solid. I would really like to see a rejection right here. Just a pullback to about 45.10 area. I would actually like to see some pullback, maybe as low as like 9.25. Really to about the 9 EMA on the 1 minute side. TTM's now at 0.1. You can see this crossover is very, very close to happening. I think we're going to get like a nice fat move here. I was trying to switch that over to 12 ticks. I was going to look to grab that move. Unfortunately, I was a little late on it. So I'm in at 14. I'm looking to get out at 17. And on ETF side, look to grab this pullback here. Go for 7. Join the bid. Missed the entry on ETF side.
Order filled.
In long on ETF at 1450. I'm looking to get out of 16 and a quarter. I'm going for 7 ticks on ETF, 12 ticks on Apex. We've got a cyan switch there, 5200 cross on the 1. No 5200 cross yet on the 10 second. So hopefully we get that soon in the next like minute. Big pullback. I was worried about this. I think I might have chased that a little bit, but I don't hate the trade yet.
Order filled.
I took an additional contract on Apex side to get out at 1475. So we need to break above VWAP. I'm not going to take any more contracts on ETF though, because Trail Max, I want to make sure I keep a good eye on that. One minute Bollinger Band is at 15 and a quarter. We got to break above 15, I think, for this to really run. TTM's at 3.5.
Order filled.
We got that one contract, 1 and 7 on Apex side. Bollinger Band's now at 16. Kind of feel like it should have popped off this one here. We got about 30 seconds left in this. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time because we have this 10-second crossover here. There's 1575, 16. We got
Order
the full
filled.
7 ticks on ETF side. We hit 17. All right, we got the full
Order
12
filled.
on Apex side. That puts Apex up 807, and we got the account back into green on Apex side after a massive hit yesterday. Trail max is at 2143. So 2143 out of 2500. So 357 down off of our high of the account. It means the account was at 720 apparently at some point. That was a nice trade on both sides. I'm gonna let this cool off a little bit. I'm gonna check this on the 22nd. So the 22nd has a 5200 inbound. I think that we need to pull back and consolidate a little bit for maybe a brief moment. Or maybe not. Look at that. Went to a doji, got a little pop up to 18. But I would not mind seeing some pullback for a little bit here. Maybe to like 1475 or 15 area. Let's see. Just checking in on the comments. What up, Kevin? Good to see you. By listening to predictions. Yeah, I agree with that. My thought on fees, Tiny, is that like fees have to exist. Like if fees don't exist, then I end up with latency. I end up with companies that are trying to make money off of nothing. And if they are not profitable themselves as a company, then I can't expect them to be a company for very long. So I'm okay with fees, provided number one, that they're profitable to me. Number two, that they're very clearly communicated. It's very, very important to me that they're clearly communicated. It's super, super important. Don't hate the trade, I hate the trade. If I'm seeing it right, looks like we're ranging between 45.25 and 45.03. I agree. That is the range there. What am I on? I'm on ETF side. Okay, so we got a pullback to EMA 35, right around 15. That's the area. This is actually what I want to see. I want to see this pull back some and consolidate, because just straight rip is not a good thing. 7.5. There's a fresh crossover here. That got me yesterday, and that's what got me greedy. But right now, the TTM looks extended. This TTM's here at 7.5. Let's see here. I did miss this whole move here on the way up, but I was able to grab some of it, and I got some of it on ETF side as well. Where are we up on ETF? Up 512 on ETF. So I grabbed this section here. There's a flag here just above the VWAP. I would be a bit weary about contract dumps or anything like that. Let's see what happened with that oil report. Okay, so here's the crude oil reports here from 7:30. Let's see. Crude oil imports changed. Crude oil stock change 3.954 million. To be completely honest, I don't actually really know how to read this. So, Let's look at which one seems the most relevant. This one has the highest importance. Stocks of gasoline refers to weekly change in the supply situation. Let's see the overview. Down 2.66 million barrels is what that looks like. Last news from 2022. So we still have the treasury bonds at 8:30 and 10, and then we have monthly budget statement coming out as well. We go to today. Today we have a ton of reports and a lot of volatility, but not nearly as much as I was considering in terms of the downtrend. That ended up being a nice rip on that flag. Kind of wish I took that. It was a nice 12 tick move. I'm gonna drop this down to like 5 ticks. I don't know if I want to trade on Apex anymore because I've already made $800 and I've already made $500 on ETF. But I might trade ETF a little bit more, just get the account back up. Trail max at 1194. So at the moment, I don't really see a trade. This trade I did call out, but I was a little sketchy because of the TTM expansion was so high. My eyes are bothering me. I feel allergic. My TTM's been having a hard time loading today. What a range of move on the day. Like, we're having these massive drops with these massive rips. Here we go. TTM's back. All right. So for TTM, like the TTM is actually very useful on days like today, because what we can actually look at is we can actually look at situations that look just like this, where we had this big rip up. We were able to measure all that with the TTM. We were able to measure this cool down with the TTM. And then we saw this red and yellow here. And then right when it switched to cyan, we get that big flip. And so we can really measure a lot with TTM, especially on days like today where there's all this volatility. TTM is super, super useful for those days. And that's really what TTM is, the volatility indicator. Nice bounce there off of the 9 EMA on the 10-second side. Another flag. TTM starting to cool down on the 1 minute. So I'm a little being a little bit more cautious on my trading now. Plus, we're running into this 45.20 area, which has been pretty strong resistance throughout yesterday and today. ES is up a full... Oh, I thought it was 1%. It's 0.15. A full $7. Nice pop up there off that 20. Man, I kind of wish I took this flag. I feel FOMO. Because I missed that move and this move. Wow. Heading into the top of that band. Where's the high? 25? 25.75? We don't even need to necessarily sell off because we sold off on a couple of these candles here. So we're not necessarily over saturated either.
Order filled.
Took a long here on ETF for, I'm just going for a 3 ticker.
Order filled.
Took the trade off with a single tick because it kind of looks like it might just drop back down. So it tapped my sell order but never filled. So I did make a tiny little profit on that. Nothing to write home about, but I'd like to see a pullback to about 1950 or 20. That was a nice flag on both here and here. There's a lot of ascension on this. I'd really like to see this actually kind of pull back to about 20. It made me feel a lot more comfortable about going long again. There's a doji at the top. Wow. Still pushing, huh? So there's that flag there, but with that doji, I mean, it's not... with the doji here plus the TTM also starting to be a little extended as well, I genuinely would like to see pullback to about 45.20, or maybe even lower, maybe even like to like 18. How y'all doing? Guys, red, green, all the jazz. Let's see. I'm just catching up. Yep, fees are okay. Not when we can't predict them. That's exactly what this is exactly what I'm talking about. I totally agree with this. I want notice that there's going to be an increase in fees. I actually genuinely don't think that ETF increased their fees. I think it's a software bug. Because when I look at the fees on an individual trade basis, they're correct. But when I look at the fees on the overall trade basis, it's like doubling up the amount of contracts that I take at the correct dollar amount. So instead of 3 contracts I'm being charged for 3 contracts, I'm being charged for 6 contracts. And so I think it's a software issue. And it just started happening yesterday. So there may be a reason, like some sort of correlation with that. So staying away from Apex is a good idea. Didn't see that coming. Why do you say that staying away from Apex is a good idea? That's a. Oh, you mean on my account? Because I'm already up $800 in it. Here's the pull. This is what I was looking for. I was looking for this to pull back here to like the 9 EMA or maybe a little bit lower. I was like, my thought was, I'm like, Apex seems like a fine company. I've not had any issue with them. Yeah, crazy moves today. Huge volatility. But you know what? I was calling out this volatility last week or even on Monday. So I expected it. I just kind of forgot about it though when I sat down. I forgot that that today was to keep my green. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I was like Apex seems like a fine company. Okay, so we're finally getting some pullback now. This is really what I was looking for. I was looking for that pullback to about 20. And I'd like to see some... I guess I'd like to just see some consolidation right here. and then look at going long again. I think that there is potential to break the highs, but I'm not gonna bank on it. Like with this decline in the TTM on the 1 minute side, this is actually like I could see this pulling back to like 16, or maybe like right around 16. The EMA 35 and the 50. But we do have a nice divergence on the 50 and the 200 here. So it does sort of look like we can wait for a little bit. That divergence on this, and this is sort of like a mini Head and Shoulders. You can see like here's the shoulder, here's the head. So I could see us maybe forming into an ABCD pattern and then going out from there. And I think that would actually be one of the best things for long trading, would be to see this sort of formulate into a ABCD pattern sort of on the range, and then pop up off that. If we can hold support in this sort of 15 to 20 area, that's what I'd be looking for. Yeah, I've actually been getting better at making calls like a couple of days in advance. So this is kind of nice. And a couple of months. I did call oil back in June when it was like in the 60s. Like it was at like 67 a barrel or something like that. And I called oil. I was like, the oil might hit 90. And lo and behold, oil hit 90. So actually, what is oil at today with the oil reports? Looks like we're about to get a bounce. Yeah, oil's up at 89. I just got literally teabagged. I just got hit in the face with a teabag. Oil is a little bit on the decline at the moment, but oil has a nice 5200 cross inbound. I don't love trading oil, so I'm not going to. I'd rather trade the ES. There's a nice bounce there off of 1875 back up to 20. Back into the 20s, 21, 25. That's like multiple points. But I'm gonna take a look at the 10-second, because this is really where a lot of this, I'll be able to see a lot of this ahead of time. And then on the 1 minute, I want to see both. It's kind of nice having two accounts up at once, just because I can actually just like look at both sides. I do feel some FOMO off this move. Actually, a lot of FOMO, but yeah, who knows what it is. TTM on the 1 minute is still declining, and we're sort of forming into that ABCD pattern a little bit that I mentioned that I would want to see. You see sort of that that wedge there. It's formed. So we may get a nice breakout here back up towards 23. But I think that we need for this that ABCD pattern, even if it's small, to sort of form. So I wouldn't mind another pullback to about 18, 19, and then a rip off that. You can see some volatility beginning to come in a little bit on this new candle. Bit of indecision. Average volume is at like 3,500 a day, so it's pretty high. Need to breathe a little bit. Is this on Apex side? I'd rather be here on ETF side. See if we can pull another like 300 in the account. Missed this move. The one I was literally watching for. Let me cut that. It's a bounce from 22 all the way up to 2250. And TTM is at 2.2. There's that breakout on that wedge that I mentioned. And we've got this just ripping through resistance. Wow. I called it, I just missed it.
Order filled.
Ooh. Took a long on ETF side at 23. Looking to get out 23.75. We have a double top there. But only at 23.50 after our entry. I'm at a 1-to-1 ratio right now. And probably going to have to cut this on ETF. Maybe not. I was going for 3 ticks at 23.75, but yeah, I'm going to cut that. Take the loss.
Order filled.
Still up 216 on the day. That's my first loss of the day. I kind of chased it. Well, I did chase it. I didn't kind of chase it. I did chase it. Let's be real. As real as I can be with myself, especially. It just broke out faster than I expected it to. Ah, now it's coming back. What the heck? So that was from 23 down to 21. That was an 8-tick loss. Try to take another entry. Again, no fill. Dang it. I literally bottom filled that too. That's frustrating. And also this too would have been a nice 5-tick move. I think we're going to go hit the highs now.
Order filled.
I took a long at 24. But don't kill my profits. We have a triple top. been kind of missing the entries, which is very, very frustrating. Because missing an entry can really cost a lot, because I end up being right and then I end up chasing because I was right. And that becomes very frustrating. But I think this is going to pop up towards like 27. Did pull back up to break even. Our entry's at 24. We really got a not a great entry. TTM's at 1.1 on the 1 minute side of the 2350. I moved my sell order, by the way, up to 2650 because I think we're going to break highs here. It's at 2550 there. Wow, if I didn't move my sell order, that actually would have sold and made that profit. Dang it, man. Did I get greedy? It's a good question. One that I need to keep checking myself on. I think a lot of people were expecting the highs there to break. My original exit was at 25.25, which I ended up moving this back down to, but because I moved that up to 26.50, I ended up in back in red territory when I did have a really strong opportunity to take a nice trade with a 187 in profit. Instead, I went for the 262 in profit or so, or 370, 337.50 or whatever, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it's looking less favorable. I was really thinking that we would break through the highs right there. Now I'm really kicking myself because, you know, I mean, that was a good trade that I turned bad, my own self. TTM's at 1.3. I tapped the sell order at 24.75. I've had more than enough opportunities to get out of this. Filled. I got out of that trade, but I'm not proud of it. I don't believe that was a good trade. I absolutely could have done better. I moved my trade around, changed my trading plan a couple of times based off the volatility. I'm not proud of that trade because I changed my trade plan midway through to expect it to break through the highs. And it really came up to 25.50. Had I kept my original trade plan, would have got a full 187.50 out of that. So really not particularly proud of that one. And again, we were up about 500 and some change today. But gave back some to the market. And this is what I was mentioning about the contract thing. You can see here on ETF side, it's showing that my number of contracts is 36. But when you look at my my winning contracts here, it's 15. And my losing contracts is 18. So it's actually doubling up my number of contracts from 18 to 36. And so it's doubling up my fees in that process too. So my fees should actually only be 50.22 and not 144. So pretty crazy right there right now. So here we are at 8 o'clock. I'm kind of getting a little bit of pullback. So oil, let's take a look at this. Oil just got a 5,200 cross here with a downward cross on the 1226. So if we get like a pullback to like the EMA 35 here, like 89.11, oil could get a nice big rip. I'm going to look for a red to yellow on oil because this actually looks like this could really do a lot. I'm just going to take a look and see if there's another oil that I should be watching. CLX. No, CLV has more volume. That was a nice move there on oil. Big bounce. So we're looking at 89.11 or so. And wow. Kind of missed that move. Try to take another move on oil, but also missed that too. This was a fat rip from about 89.15 or so all the way up to 89.30. And I was waiting for the red to yellow move, but turns out that it moved pretty heavily right before. So. I'm gonna join the bid here.
Order filled.
Long on oil at 28. I'm looking to get out at 35. GTM's at 0.5. And fresh science switch on oil would look really nice. You may even get a move up to 40. But I'm gonna keep my sell order here at 35. was about to take that off too. Only tap 32. Wow, that's a pretty large drop. I overtraded today on my ETF account. Crazy. Gonna have to cut. How much time do we have left on this? 30 seconds. Pretty surprised at that. Since it already had its pullback, I really thought that this was actually going to pull more to like 40, like into the 40s.
Order
I
filled.
was lucky enough to get out of that with profit, but I think that I need to be done for the day because I can tell I'm taking kind of riskier trades and trades that don't really make as much sense. So I'm gonna call it right there on the day. Pretty good job. I would say my last two trades did not have great risk management, and my last two trades were, I think, pushing it a little bit too much. So I'm gonna call it right there, and just be done for the day. So thank you guys, everybody, for being here. If you guys would take a moment and hit the like button, I would really appreciate it. It really does really genuinely help the channel grow. I really do appreciate those types of things. Thank you, Origin Code. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm gonna call it right there because my last two trades were just, I don't really feel that I had the proper risk management. I also feel like that emotionally I was chasing it. I could also feel my heart pounding a bit, so that means I'm not approaching things with as much calmness as I was earlier. So it could just be a combination of trading for too long. I think that happens to me. Does that happen to anybody else? I'm curious. Where if you've done a few trades and um, you've had some good results or anything like that, do you start sort of like, do you ever find yourself almost like you can feel like energy sort of welling and like tension sort of welling up inside you to keep on trading? For whatever reason. Maybe it's that maybe it's greed. Maybe it is that you sort of feel like I don't know. I just let me know. I would love to know, maybe here or in the Discord community. But I would love to hear people's thoughts on what they've experienced when it comes to overtrading, or what they've experienced when it comes to sort of that emotional response after you've already taken a couple of good trades. But we're ending the day up on Elite Trader Funding side, up 354. I think we topped at 513 for the day. This account's been kind of treading water. It's down slightly in the account after taking a pretty massive loss yesterday. And then our Apex account, we're up 807.50 on the day. The max of this account was, I think, 720, and right now it's at 363 in the positive side. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut these down, and I'll see you guys in the Discord community. Much love, and we'll see you guys possibly Monday. Well, definitely Monday, but on moving profit or stop targets. Yeah, and that's just it too. Like, you guys, you saw me move that around a couple of times today. I don't normally do that. That's something I did a lot more when I was new, but I found myself slipping into that habit today. So uh more emotional work always to do. I think it never ends. I think if I was doing this for 25 years, I would probably still have some level of emotional work that I need to do in order to maintain growth. But still overall, still overall happy with everything. But yeah, much love and appreciation, y'all. I'm gonna jump into the Discord community and write my reflection and my results on the day. And peace out. We'll see you on Monday.